So there's 2 weeks left until the turkey season opens here, and I'm back in this flooded timber doing a little preseason scouting. You know, it's been said that turkeys love to roost over areas where they can hear their droppings hit the water, and I've found that to be very true over the years. These marshes and swamps also act as something of a buffer, keeping some of the other pressure out of the area. There's a bird that's been roosting back over this seasonally flooded timber here for a few years. I've called him in on several occasions. Last time I called him in last year, he came to within 30 or 40 yards, came right down the open edge of the swamp. Problem being, I was set up back in that and I didn't have a clean shot. You can see how thick it is. So I'm out here, I'm gonna find me an area that offers concealment right along the edge of this flooded timber and get out here the first chance I get and see if I can't get this bird. So having chosen a few spots that offer good concealment and open shooting areas along the edge of the swamp where this bird roosts, all that remains to be done is to scout a quiet entry to that spot using some of these existing deer trails through the thick brush and removing a few of the noisemakers that I may encounter in the dark on the way in the next time I get back here. This is going to be my secondary setup when I come in here to hunt swampy. You can see it's a wooded area about 30 yards off the edge of a field. I do see turkeys feeding, strutting, and I hear them gobbling out in this field sometimes mid-morning. The reason I'm setting up another spot is if I get back in on Swampy's roost and he's gobbling and he gets around me, I'm not going to sit there for 2 hours making hen calls. It'll spook the area up. I don't want to ruin the roosting area. So I'll come forward here. There's also the possibility that he won't be gobbling. Again, if there's nothing gobbling back on the roost, I'm going to come up here. And I could do the worst possible scenario and jump him off the roost. And in that case, I definitely don't want to make hen calls back in there. Up here, off this feeding field, the turkeys are more used to getting spooked by predators, not just foxes and coyotes, but human predators, hunters as well. So if I don't get back on that roost and have action first thing in the morning, or if the action dissipates and the birds gobble a little bit and stop, I'm going to sneak out and head up here where I feel more comfortable getting aggressive with hen calling. If I spook them up a little bit, so be it. They're used to it. I also planned a route through the woods to get on this field. When you're hunting turkeys, the worst thing you can do is walk around in the open field. The birds, a lot of times, they'll hide in the brush line and watch the field, especially the gobblers looking for hens to come out in the field. They'll see you walk across that field. You'll never know they were there. So if you're going to be hunting field edges, always approach the field where you think turkeys might be through the woods. Don't take a shortcut across the field because you will spook birds if you do that. My original plan, Plan A, worked fairly well. With the exception of nothing was gobbling back on the roost. So instead of making a bunch of hen calls, I just very quietly backed out towards the front fields through the woods. As I approached the field, I could see through the tree line that there were two gobblers strutting quietly up along the far edge of the field. So I snuck in, set up along the other edge of the field, and gave just a few hen calls. Those birds came into about 60, 70 yards quietly. They never gobbled. Nothing gobbled the entire morning. And they stuck their heads up over a little rise. Not seeing a hen, they drifted off the way they had come. At that point, I didn't want to call anymore because I didn't want to spook them up. Nothing was gobbling. And I figured it was better to let them think that the hen had just drifted off herself. I did try to loop the field and get down on the other end through the woods the way they were going. However, while I was sitting down at the far end watching them, a fella made the classic mistake and walked out into the field to glass it for birds, scaring the two birds I was hunting off. I'm going to take another run at this flooded roost and see if the birds aren't back there, and hopefully they'll be gobbling this morning. Let me get going. I got quite a hike. Well, here's a nice public land longbeard for you. Real nice bird. I was hunting Swampy. Hunted him a couple mornings. That didn't work out. I didn't hear him over there, but I heard a couple birds down across the way along the tree line in another field. So I circled out, came around at first light, crept around back up behind that wood lot about 150, 200 yards away from where they were roosted, and I crept up on the edge of the field, set up. This bird answered me right away. And this bird flew down and came right to me, right off the roost. Unfortunately, there was a bunch of briars between me and him. So anyway, he drifted off a little bit back into the woods, and I got up and snuck down the deer trail as quiet as I possibly could. Found a little opening. It's so thick back in there in this woods. It's working on the second week of May, and it has gotten overgrown. Well, anyway, I found the best opening I could, and I called once, and he turned around and started coming right back. As he approached, I could hear him getting closer and closer. He came down the trail that cut around the tree to the right. I saw him poke his little head out from behind that tree. You know, he didn't even flop. He just hit the ground hard as rock. These copper-plated number 5s did the job 15 yards. He's got a nice beard. He's got some really nice spurs here. And he's got real pretty fan. Beautiful bird here. I got him tagged up. I'm gonna get him back out to the truck.